Hello, I'm Tori Stevens with Three Brothers Publishing, and this is the tutorial video for our launch game entitled Combat Go. It's a fast-paced card game for 2 to 4 players. Hopefully, though, up to 6 players as a stretch goal. We'll bulk up the deck a little bit and hopefully add some extra cards. There's also some extra cards available as stretch goals as well. Cheap. This game will be cheap. It's a martial art kind of style fighting game. You're punching and kicking and blocking one another and whatnot. There's some kind of fireballs in there and stuff too. But the play moves real quick between the attacker and the defender. Just real quick back and forth action. There's only 4 actions that you can take in this game. Here's the wild card, Fake Out, which it has all 4 actions on it: melee attack, ranged attack, block, or move. Block is the only way to block either attack. It blocks melee attacks or ranged attacks. When you start off play, it's always at melee range, so you can just play your melee attacks without having to do anything. To play your ranged attacks, you have to move first into range, which, like, you'll try to move, your opponent will, if they can or want to, move back, like counter your move with another move. But once it ends at range, if it does, then you're able to play your ranged attacks, which, yeah, can only be blocked. You win when you score 3 hits, and everybody will get the same amount of turns. So, let's see how it goes. When you start the game off, everyone will be dealt 5 cards from the deck. And you will determine who goes first. However you want to do that is perfectly fine. Rock, paper, scissors, flip a coin, dice roll, whatever you want to do. Then, the player that goes first, they get the rule card to have in front of them to show that they begin the round. And then they can take their 5 cards and they can discard any one of their 5 cards from their hand, up to all of them. I mean, you could discard 2, you could discard 5, and then you replace them from the top of the deck. You know, you'll discard 2, draw 2, so that you have 5 cards in your hand. That's the very first thing you do when it's your turn. When it's your turn, also, you are the attacker. For all intents and purposes, I'm just going to keep my starting hand, you know. So, I've got a lot of ranged attacks here, which they're only good if you move. So, I'm going to go ahead and move with this cartwheel. When you play a card that has multiple options, you choose which option you did when you played the card. So I cartwheeled and I moved. My opponent, say they can move. They'll use this dash. That's the only thing it can do, is move. But they did that. So then I'll just have to try and move again. They say that they don't have any more move cards. So I'm able to play one of my ranged attacks. So I'll shoot an arrow at them. They can block it right here. Here's a block card. So they block that. I can go ahead and ranged attack them again. But they don't have any more blocks. That means I hit them with this flip. So I take the card that I hit them with and I keep it on my side of the table, because it will signify my score. So I'll keep it over here. And when you score a hit, that will end your turn. What you'll do then, though, is you'll go ahead and draw back up to 5 cards from into your hand, till your hand has 5 cards in it again from the top of the deck, and that's the end of your turn. Then the player you are attacking will have their turn to attack the player to their right. So that pretty much sums it up. The game will move that way until it is completed. Someone has scored 3 points. If at the end of a round more than one person has scored 3 points, then they will continue to play until the tie has been broken, basically, at the end of a round. That pretty much wraps up Combat Go. Quick note, I realize these cards are a little dark. I'm going to do something about that during printing. Hopefully we get funded. Also, there's cards like this with little text at the bottom. They'll just do whatever they say they do. Sometimes you get a choice. Sometimes you don't. But most of them will let you draw a card after you play them. The type on that is a little small. I want to make that bigger as well. There's another card in here somewhere. Let's see. Counterattack. That's a good one. By popular demand. Counterattack. Play after you block. Your attacker must block, or this scores a hit. Sorry, it won't focus. The attacker continues play afterward. Counterattack. There's a few of those in there. It's a good card. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial for Combat Go, and we'll see you later.